I'm like nervous. I haven't read this, so please excuse me stuttering. Or, hey, you guys are cool with me sobbing through it, right? Is that good radio? It could sound really stupid read.
Jamie, you have to just read it.
All right, here we go. Turns out I'm an alcoholic. And then I wrote, hooray, fuck shit. It took me 31 years to figure this out because I may not be good at drinking, but I am great at denial. I don't have too many horror stories. Maybe that's why it took so long. I blacked out a few times. I thought about drinking every day. I had a dream last night that I relapsed, and I literally woke up shaking. So that was sweet. But no families were ruined. No lives were lost. For example, I'm not writing this because a court ordered me to. But as life has it, I can never have a drink again. I caught it before I made the news. How do you know if you're an alcoholic and not just a social drinker? Well, if someone asks you, why do you drink? And you respond with, so I'm not sad. Oh, no. You have a problem. I'm a comedian, and literally the day after this, when I should have been with loved ones solemnly reflecting, I had gigs in Kentucky, New Orleans, and Austin, Texas, bastions of sobriety. I had no idea how much booze played a role in my life until I quit. I saw it everywhere I went. In Kentucky, I was offered drinks before my show, after my show, in a mall, and a Whole Foods. Whole Foods, which is supposed to be filled with health freaks, but no, it's filled with liars. Was it free range wine? Go fuck yourself, Whole Foods. Sorry, I'm like throwing in words because, you know. When I told the woman at the Kentucky Mall I didn't drink, she actually said, you're not an alcoholic if you make the wine yourself, and then started laughing. I think that's pretty much the definition of an alcoholic. Like, if I ever find myself in my apartment stomping grapes in a dark room full of barrels, please call a nearby rehab. Or, if I find myself drinking homemade wine in a mall. In New Orleans, the next day was even crazier. When I told a woman at my hotel that I didn't want a beer, she offered to show me her boobs. First of all, where were you when I was 17? Second of all, that's crazy. I was in town the day before something called the Red Dress Run in New Orleans, which I think sums up NOLA perfectly. Everyone, men and women, get up bright and early, and they run in red dresses for charity, but they do it drunk in the morning. We're going to run for charity. Great. Drunk. Why? New Orleans. Oh. But I survived. I survived New Orleans. I survived Austin. I survived Texas, and I was proud. I did it. The problem was something still didn't feel right. So 4 days after I came home, 4 days after I admitted to having a drinking problem, 4 days after I knew I was still hiding something, I also had to admit the big one, which is I have an eating disorder. Line up, ladies and gents, an alcoholic with an eating disorder? Are we on The Bachelor? But I have an eating disorder, which is weird to say. I have an eating disorder. There it is. I have an eating disorder. Alcoholic with an eating disorder because I have a flair for the dramatic. And a stand-up comedian with a drinking problem seemed cliche. What I do with alcohol, I also do with food, but much worse. I never thought twice about it, though. A lot of times people don't take eating disorders seriously because we all need to eat food to survive. We don't all need cigarettes. So we understand that as an addiction. When I saw a man the other day in Brooklyn drop a cigarette in the street, then pick it up without skipping a beat to keep smoking, I thought, yep, that's a smoker. YOLO, I guess. Like, that's an addiction. But if I told someone I thought about doing that every time I go to leave a restaurant and see people's leftovers on their plates, I'm just kind of weird and probably joking. So unless you aren't eating food or you have the most well-known form of bulimia, the binge and purge, you feel fucking dumb saying you have an eating disorder because it's food. It's like saying you're addicted to air or water. You feel alone. You feel like you just need better willpower. You feel hungry. You mean you eat to celebrate? You eat too much? You like food like the rest of the entire fucking planet? Well, yeah, all those things. But a lot of you reading this can stop. A lot of you aren't shaking when ordering takeout, not knowing whether to add cake to the order, then saying no cake, then saying, wait, 2 pieces of cake, and terrifying the poor person on the other end of the phone. You don't have a bite of a bagel and think, fuck, I better get 4 more even before your second bite. You don't plan all of your meals weeks in advance, talking about them every day until the food goes into your dumb mouth. You don't hate yourself for it. You don't read menus at midnight. You don't feel like an asshole for writing this. I just thought it was funny that I ate a lot. That's what dudes do, right? We drink, we eat, and we treat women like shit. Dudes. I would tell people that if they ever did like a behind the music type special on me, it would be the lamest one ever. Instead of heroin or a crack addiction, it would just be me on the road after a gig, naked in a bathtub, surrounded by stuffed crust pizza boxes, sobbing into my phone. You don't know me. Click. Yum, 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 yum. And then I'd make a pizza sandwich, which I did for real. Even after I admitted this, I thought to myself that there was no fucking way it was true, right? I was just looking for attention or trying to lose weight. So I told my family, expecting shock and horror, and instead got a whole lot of, oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. Fuck. Then I got sad. Then I wanted to eat everything. My sister, being the organized one of the kids, had sent me 2 online quizzes to take. One was for AA and one was for Overeaters Anonymous. I thought, here it is. Time to get called on my bullshit. Overeaters Anonymous? Really, Steph? Turns out I was in the 90th percentile for both. I haven't been in the 90th percentile for fucking anything, ever. I dropped out of high school with an average grade of a 22, and I didn't go to some hippie school with a weird grade system. I had a 22 out of 100. But an eating disorder with a drinking problem, passed with flying colors. No willpower and crippling addiction, A fucking plus. I didn't know what to think. Alcoholism I kind of saw coming since I was younger, but an eating disorder as a guy is almost unheard of, publicly anyway. With alcoholism, there is something sort of like tough guy about it. It means I have stories that I've lived, right? As a man with an eating disorder, people just think, oh, so you're gay. First of all, I'm effeminate. Second of all, you think I'm gay? Thanks. Sorry, I'm back. You feel alone. You feel hungry. You feel like your problems aren't real, so you don't fix them. Then you feel full, like so fucking full. Then you hate yourself. Then you hate yourself for hating yourself. Then you eat. Then you feel sick, like so fucking sick. Then you start planning your next healthy meal to make up for the sickness. Then you think, well, I already fucked up today, so how about one last huge meal? Actually, it's Friday, so how about one more huge weekend? Like so fucking huge. Then Monday happens, and you're ready to get back on track, but now you have a headache from sugar withdrawal. It's like train spotting, but with carbs, and you feel dumb. You feel dumb again, like so fucking dumb. And this is your life. So I'm writing this for everyone who struggles with addiction, but I really want men with eating disorders, diagnosed and undiagnosed, to read this, and I really want young men to read this. I want you to know that it's going to be okay. That you aren't dumb. You have a problem, and there is nothing tough about suffering in silence. These faux macho idiot guys that would make fun of you for admitting you have a problem, these are the guys who are too chicken shit to face their own bullshit, that see self-care as weakness. You can all bask in knowing that all of their bullshit will erupt when they hit 40. We all have addictions. We all have obsessions. We all have things that get in the way of us living our lives. But the point of life is to fix these things, to be great, to improve every day. I learned that these addictions were weighing me down to the point where I felt buried alive. Fuck that. Fuck letting outside bullshit control you. You are stronger than that. You think a fucking bottle or a fucking dessert is going to ruin you? You're going to give in to those giant corporations that profit on you hating yourself? Fuck no. And you may slip up. We all slip up. Trust me. We all slip up. But once you admit you have a problem, you have a new agenda to get healthy, to be better. You will find other loves. You will find healthy food that makes you strong. You will stop when you're full. You will see your old self in the shadow of the drunk guy puking his guts out. You will walk away. You are a goddamn superhero. You will help others, and you will never be sick again. You will stop hating yourself, and you will be proud.
Yeah! Jamie!
So there it is.
Jamie!
Yeah, all right.
Jamie.
I hope I only almost started crying once. What?
Well, we already know from some of our friends responding and people on Twitter that that piece already helped a lot of people. So that's good.
I mean, that's like the coolest thing. And I'm trying to respond to everybody. And like, here's what I can say. This is what I've said the most on Twitter. And it's cliche. It's a fucking AA thing. You hear about it all the time. Admitting you have a problem is the hardest step. It's the first step, right? And sometimes you just hear those as like words, right? Like I remember when I started comedy, I would always ask like these famous comedians, like, what do you do, right? Like, how do you get famous? And they go, you have to find your own voice. And you'd hear that as words. And you'd go, oh, well, that's easy. Like, I talk in my own voice. And then it's like 10 years later that you're like, oh, no, I get it. I wasn't talking about me. I wasn't being vulnerable. I wasn't being myself. I was trying to be what I thought comics were supposed to sound like or whatever. And I remember feeling the same way with these words, like admit you have a problem. And I would do it like while laughing, or I would do it and be like, yeah, that's fucked up, or I should probably try to stop. But I never said the words, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm an eating disorder, or I have an eating disorder. And so a lot of you guys who were writing me were saying, this is going to make me look at my issues, or this is going to, I feel like I'm staring down the barrel of a gun of both of these, is what someone said. And that's almost admitting it, right? And I've said shit like that before, and I've been like, I have to stop binge eating, I want to stop drinking, and that never fucking worked.
I can also see the two like being very triggering of each other. You know, like if you
totally.
have one, to me it seems very likely that you might have the other, because if you're drinking a lot, then you feel shitty, then you want to eat shitty foods, then you're eating a lot of shitty foods and you feel bad about yourself, so you're like, well, I might as well drink again.
Yeah, and lots of you guys have other addictions that maybe this, like, you know, ties into or whatever. But once I said those words, it was just so fucking scary to me to say it, because it's hard to say it. But once you say it, you go, oh, fuck, I got to do something. And it helps, because now suddenly you're not someone who eats too much and you fucked up, and then you're going to start dieting again, whatever the fuck dieting means. And usually dieting is horrible and doesn't help. Eating healthy, feeling good helps, but like fad diets, you know? But once you say I have an eating disorder, if you fuck up, you know you fucked up. Once I said I'm an alcoholic, I know if I drink again, I got to go to AA, or I got to go to rehab, or I got to go whatever. If I just said I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to cool down, or I'm going to take a break, then it wouldn't matter. And it progressively gets worse every time you try to stop, and you get better. I mean, I've experienced it. I've seen my family, my friends experience it. So that's what I implore all of you to do who are thinking about this, or maybe have a friend that you should talk to who's going through this. Because, you know, it's only been 3 weeks that I've been sober and healthy, but I feel fucking great. I mean, it was hard. It was really hard, and I hope I don't fuck up again, but like, I feel like another person. I feel like if I can do this, I can do anything. And I know for a fact how fucked up I was, and that if I can do it, you guys certainly can, because I am a mess.